placed. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for some more? Yeah! Do we alcohol up enough? Yeah! You're going to need it for the last three, I'm just saying. Not that they're bad, but that it'll help. Okay, so the next performer, I cannot stress this enough. She was a debutante. An actual debutante, as in she came out and everything. Not like, you know, like Neil Patrick Harris came out, but as a debutante. She might need to go back in. Ladies and gentlemen, a family.
The really sad part is he's not lying. I have been through cotillion, white gloves, and party manners, as well as a military summer camp. Didn't stick. So tonight we're here, and we are benefiting the Nebraska Humane Society. Fantastic organization. I don't know about you, but I can't even think about going to their website without wanting to take a kitty or a doggy home. Both of my animals that I've got at my house that like to piss all over my goddamn carpet are rescue animals. Love them to death, but you know, I think I need to talk to Mikey about maybe getting some of those adult-sized diapers just to strap my larger dog into.
I give it a discount.
Fantastic, we'll talk later. So, but the Humane Society is near and dear to me because not only do I have two rescue animals, but I'm kind of a rescue human. I was adopted. No, I'm really, how else can you think about it? And especially after I tell you why I call it being a rescue human. First of all, I'd like to start off with a funny accidental find on the internet the other day. Anybody spend much time on like the best of Craigslist or anything like that?
I am the best of Craigslist.
Woohoo!
I got him cheap.
You might want to get tested, just so you're aware. I use a service called Stumble Upon because I have a very short attention span and it's like channel surfing the internet. And I've lost a lot of sleep to this fucking service. But they gave me this beautiful link. Basically, it was a Craigslist posting by a woman that went viral. It ended up not being true. However, the story is too fantastic. Basically, she posted on the missed encounters section in an attempt to find a man she had enjoyed a, quote, frisky bathroom encounter with at a Motorhead and Megadeth show in Chicago. Basically, her ad was as followed. She says, me, blue hair, silver tube top, fishnets, knee-high black biker boots. You, red mohawk, black pentagram gauges, viper piercings. She went on to describe the frolic as, I was grinding on you in the pit, then we went to the bathroom and got fucked up. You had a nice cock, so I let you raw dog it in the stall. You were really good, and you had to gag me so I wouldn't make too much noise. She then added, yeah, anyway, I'm pregnant. It's yours. Contact me if you want to be a part of your child's life. And the reason why I find this really hilarious,
How was the show?
apparently not, it could have been pretty noisy unless it, but the reason why I find this so funny is because, and I'll get to the particulars in a minute, I read it, stopped and went, Mom? I'm serious. Because like I said, I am a rescue human. And what I know about my biological parents, I know, I gotta
Move that way.
I'm too loud. Apparently that wasn't my mom, it might have been my sister, because they could keep her quiet. Come on, give me more than that. What I know about my folks is that my biological mother was also adopted in Germany. That's where I get my love of butter and these hips from, apparently, and beer, and beer. She was, I believe, 21, somewhere about there. Did not tell a soul she was pregnant. I was actually born in Albion, Nebraska, which I'm told is kind of like a grease spot, although you were telling me it's a little bit bigger than a grease spot, Steve.
I come from the grease spot.
All right, good to know.
20 miles away.
Okay, all right. Yeah, she didn't tell a soul, and the summer prior to my birth, I was born in October, because I'm almost a Halloween baby, and that explains an awful lot. But she worked on a road crew that summer. Life started off interesting. What she then went on to tell the Nebraska Children's Home Society later was that my father was, I believe, 22, so right around the same age, about 5'8"-ish, 5'9", slender, had some college education, and was in a band of some sort. You have it narrowed down?
Kiss was in Lincoln, January 20th, 1977.
That would explain a few things.
Choir went to Omaha.
And the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, yes, I believe. That explains their penchant for younger men. So this is what I had to work with prior to my even being able to talk. Let's see, yeah, totally a groupie skit. So if you know anybody out there that, or maybe think I look like somebody, sound like somebody, whatever. And if it wasn't Kiss or the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, let me know, because it's kind of fun to take a guess as to where a family came from. So far, the moon has been the leader. So, those of you who've been to these shows before or have read anything that I've written understand that I'm kind of a loudmouth. So, no. I know. Huh? You laughed? I'm getting to that part. As a baby, I was very, very well behaved. And I was also very quiet. Wait for it. Well, it turns out.
And you hit puberty?
No, actually, that's when they took me to the doctor. It turns out that the pediatrician that the Nebraska Children's Home Society had a day when he was just feeling really fucking lazy. And he did not do the standard hearing test on me as an infant. And it came to pass that I was actually deaf as a baby. As in, you could walk up behind me and clang two pans together, and I would just be in my own little world. Not that that's any different now, but now I choose to ignore you. That's the difference. So when the Nebraska Children's Home Society found out that I was deaf, they came back to my parents and they said, "Oh my God, Mr. and Mrs. the family, we are so sorry. Do you want a new one?"
She's still under warranty.
You laugh? The joke was, after I grew up a little bit and could understand what being adopted was all about, they told me that they bought the extended service plan. Stop getting ahead of me, man. So yeah, I have led a very interesting life in that regard. But I actually told that story at my wedding reception. See how well that went. After his mother and the only person from his side of the family to get up to speak had sat down, I had a family friend kind of elbow me in the ribs and go, "You know, you really ought to stand up and say something nice. You know, your folks really went through a lot of effort to get you here to this point, to make sure that you had a wonderful day." And I said, "Yeah, I got this. All right, let's see. How thankful am I?" All right, we'll tell that story. So I get up and I tell the story about how, you know, I was deaf as a child, and they had the opportunity to return me, and no, there's no way, that's our baby girl, no, she's ours. And I guess the thinking of the Nebraska Children's Home Society was that an adoptive family, it may not be financially or emotionally prepared for a handicapped child, and I understand this rationally. However, my feeling on the matter is natural parents aren't necessarily equipped for that either. And it just boggled my mind that not only would they make this an option, but that someone would take them up on it. And I don't know what kind of a parent would do that. Now, granted, I have since learning this story, learned of other family members who have been looking to adopt and who have declined an adoption because of potentials. And that sickens me. And I think that I am perhaps one of the luckiest people in the world, regardless of some of the other crap that's gone on in my life, to understand that I had some folks that had the opportunity to say, no, this is going to be too difficult for us. No, we don't want to have to learn sign language. No, we don't want to have to deal with the surgeries. Because eventually they took out my adenoids, and then I could hear, and then I could choose to ignore the world. But I'm a very fortunate person in that regard, and regardless of how much we maybe don't see eye to eye, even later on in my adult life, my folks are fantastic for that. So, adoption and the Humane Society are two causes that are very, very near and dear. So if you can, find a little bit in your pocketbooks to donate to them. Maybe give them some time. I know they're always looking for durable goods. They're always looking for blankets or purified water or dog toys. They've actually got a list of things that were provided that I can look up if it's something that you're interested in. You can either stop me after the show, I'll look it up on my tablet, or I will shoot you a message, because I got an email from them when I asked them how we get our funds to them. So anyway, that's what I got. Thank you very much for coming out.
A family? So the next person coming up, I got to spend the weekend with this weekend, and that was pretty awesome. Learning to shoot AK-47s from his dad, and
Is that what they call these days?
yeah, exactly. That too. Basically camping, doing that general kind of stuff. You know, you can definitely heckle this guy, you know, say whatever you want. I would say, however, that he is a black belt in Aikido, so he may pwn your ass with physics. Mikey Taylor. Love it.
You know, just like a family, just you kind of struck a chord with me. My parents, I wasn't adopted, but my dad did tell me that he wished, when I was 16 years old, he told me that he wished that abortion was retroactive. So, yeah, I grew up in a great way. And then my dad's cool. Everybody's on kind of this weird vibe tonight, and we didn't plan it. But I'm going to talk about religion a little bit. I'm not as smart as Travis. So, we're going to, let me get this out of the way, because sometimes I like to do some theatrics with kids and stuff. I usually don't move from like right here, but I'm not as smart as Travis, so I've sometimes been kind of pigeonholed as being an atheist. I don't know if I am or not. I just know that I believe what I believe. And that should be good enough, because that's the way I treat other people. I believe religion is like a penis. You don't whip it out in public, don't shove it in my face, unless I ask you to. But there was a time where, you know, I've kind of been a student of religion. I don't believe in organized religion. I've been a student of religion. And I can't read the Bible because, first of all, I'm not going to buy one, and the ones they give me are tiny, and I can't read that little print. So I went and bought the one that I can understand. It's called The Complete Idiot's Guide to the Bible. And I'm going to read it about halfway through because it used to be the book that sat in my bathroom, and I read when I took a shit. I since removed it, and now I'm reading a book about some undercover ATF agent that went to the Hells Angels. So, I mean, I lost interest in it, but I'm still working on it. There's a lot of dust on it, but. So, when I was kind of into the religion thing or going to church, there was a reason. My aunt apparently thought that I needed some kind of saving. She might have seen something that no one else did, because my parents didn't go to church. My dad is a very spiritual man. You could almost say he's religious, but he doesn't go to church, ever. He believes what he believes, and he doesn't discuss it. That's cool with me. My aunt, though, decided I should go, and I thought church was really fucking cool when I was 9 years old, because I got to go down, hang out with kids that actually liked me, or pretended to, not the ones that I went to school with that beat the fuck out of me all the time. And after you got done with your little Sunday school lesson, they talked about people that I heard their names but didn't really know the fucking stories. You got cookies and Kool-Aid. Imagine if they served Kool-Aid in church. I later found out that as the older you got, you didn't get to hang out in that little group down there. You didn't get cookies and Kool-Aid. You had to go up and actually do the service, okay? There was a pew, second pew, that was my great-grandparents' pew. You didn't sit there unless you were invited. Apparently, I was included in this because I went up, hey, grandma, grandfather, you have to sit back there. You got to sit behind them, unless they wanted you to sit there. And if you were invited one week, you might not be invited the next week. Kind of a strange concept. Then I find out that some of my family members founded this church. It's Florence Christian Church, if anybody knows where that is. It was kind of an odd concept to me. So instead of going down and having cookies and Kool-Aid and going to McDonald's and getting a Happy Meal afterwards, now I had to start sitting up with the adults when I was like 10 years old, listening to this guy talk for an hour. There was no McDonald's afterwards. You went to a sit-down restaurant, you had, I think, the brunch. You could eat whatever the fuck you wanted as long as it fit into breakfast or lunch, and there was no Happy Meals on the menu. Kind of pissed me off, I quit going. Didn't really mess around with church so much for a while after that, until I fell in love. Yeah. I started dating the daughter of a friend of the family. If you've never had a chance to do that, run out and do it now. Because it goes really well. Me and this girl were born, I was born 2 days before her. Her dad and my dad kind of grew up together. They were all friends all through their lives. We met at a family wedding. I didn't remember knowing her when I was a kid. So it was kind of a new thing. She was cute. We were 16. Then she says, hey, I want you to come stay the night with me and my parents. 16 years old? Fuck yeah, I'm going. They had the most comfortable couch in Omaha. The thing was huge. She wasn't there. I was a little upset about that because I thought, when a girl asks you to stay the night, I know what that kind of means. I've seen the movies. Yeah. We wake up on Sunday morning and she says, well, for some reason she told me to bring in some nice jeans and a button-up shirt. And a belt. Yeah, I don't fucking wear belts most of the time except when I'm in the dojo. That means something a little different. So I wake up, she goes, yeah, get dressed. It's way too fucking early to be awake on a Sunday for one thing. And where are we going? We're going to church. Oh, fuck. We went to, it's on Down Street, the West Side Church. They have a TV show, apparently. They videotape their services for the folks that can't make it out, which is cool if you want to watch that. And I went there and I hung out and did the thing, just sit there and watch the service. Then they asked everybody to stand. And this is where I started getting my doubts about religion, organized religion. Stand and everybody join hands. Well, I grabbed her hand and held it like you hold hands, interlocking fingers, and she slapped my hand and held it, and I guess I'm, what the fuck? Then her dad takes my hand from this side, like this is really kind of uncomfortable. So I'm standing between her and her dad. Please bow your head. So I go along with the thing. And the first thing that I hear the guy say is, Lord, as you know, we have a parking problem. And I look over at her and she's like, okay, and I look at her dad, he's like, Lord, if you could please grant someone that owns land to the north of the church to give us that land for a parking lot so we can solve this problem. We can have more people here to pray to you, Lord. But before we do that, we need somebody. Somebody has to come and pave that ground so you can find it in your heart to empower a concrete developer to come in and pave that land. fucking around going, what the fuck? Oh, Dad, I'm an ordained minister, by the way. I don't do this preaching shit I did so I could marry my friends in one of those weird fucking weddings, you know? So, that Church of Jesus Christ in California, hell yeah! And once it becomes legal, I'll fucking marry anybody who wants to get married, because I think they should be. However, I'm finding this fault of, you don't pray for things. you don't pray for a fucking parking lot, I'm not damn sure of that. So I started kind of sliding on that, and I kind of brought her with me. She's a hellraiser now, I don't know where the hell she's at. Like, I know exactly where she's at. Not fucking here. That's a good thing. So then I started, attending church only when I had to. I don't attend funerals so much. I don't like the viewings. My grandfather told me not to do it, so I don't do it. I honor his word. I go to weddings. That's a lot of fun. I found out at my cousin's wedding, she used to be a nun. She left the convent, got married. I am not in good enough shape to be a Catholic. That's like a fucking calisthenics workout. Up, down, up, down. You fucking kneel, you stand, you sit. I looked like one round of that, I said, wait a minute, I'm a fucking Catholic. I sat there and watched everybody else. So, we kind of eliminate things as we go. I don't understand a lot of the other religions, but at one point in my life, apparently I had a demon in me.
Spaghetti monster.
Now that was early. The spaghetti monster was around in I also had the poop monster because if you don't flush the toilet apparently, the poop monster comes and gets you. For years I thought it was a black poodle that my grandma had that and I was scared to death to go to the out because the poop monster was really bigger. But I had this demon in me. And it came about because I was dating this girl. And her dad was kind of religious, kind of preachy, but kind of understood that I was a little fucking weird. So didn't really know why I was dating his daughter, but he accepted it. She also lived in his basement in an apartment. So he had access to me when I came over. Hey, come here, let's talk. Let's watch a movie together. You pick the movie. I behaved most of the time. I made him watch Dazed and Confused.
That's pretty tame.
That was, for me, that's extremely tame. I wasn't really into the zombie thing yet, as much as I am now. She picked out Lord of the Rings Part 2, whatever the fuck it's called. I would rather slam my dick in a cardboard than watch any of those movies, just because I don't understand them, and I had never seen Part 1. So watching Part 2 without watching Part 1 was fucking torture, especially with her dad going, is he a good guy or a bad guy? No, seriously, that guy right there, he's just a bad guy. Why is he on that ring? What are they doing? They're fucking walking. And that's about it. That's how it clerks too, by the way. I don't want to steal any lines from anybody. We don't believe in that. So one day he...
The donkey!
Everybody tells me that I remind of that donkey guy in that fucking movie. I don't have a border claw tattoo, and I miss my donkey. One day, this guy comes to me and says, I'm going to pick the movie tonight. And I'm thinking, oh, what the fuck's this going to do? He says, have you ever heard of Jesse Duplantis? And I'm thinking, God, that name is familiar. But in my head, I'm thinking of somebody else. He says, he's a rock star. This is continuing what's going on in my head. I was thinking of a guy named Jesse James Dupree. He is a lead singer for a band called Jackal that sang a song called the Lumberjack song that featured the chainsaw as an instrument. And I'm thinking, why the fuck does this guy have a movie about him? Then he says, you know who he is, don't you? I said, well, I got a song or two in my head that I'm thinking. He goes, he sang this song called The Letter. Then The Letter. And I can't verify whether he did or not. A ton of people have covered it. The box tops did it first. And it's, give me a ticket for an airplane. Okay? The box tops did it first. This guy may have done a cover of it. Everybody did a cover of it back in the day because it was a popular song and they would die on it. Something, man, that's a cool song. I'll watch the movie about this guy. It's not a movie about this guy. It's this guy preaching because he has found God. He has found Jesus and he has left the rock and roll lifestyle. Yay. I'm watching. He was a great preacher. Great preacher. He got his message across. I just didn't want to hear it. The stories were good though, because they included blowjobs in the bathroom, but he wouldn't say what was going on. I knew. So I watched, it's like, whatever. And then me and his daughter would go downstairs and fuck like rabbits. He would do this time and time again. When it was his turn, we'd watch some fucking movie. It's like, oh my God. I'm just so glad that Mel Gibson hadn't made his movie yet, because I would have had to watch that and not understand a fucking word that they say, because I wouldn't read subtitles.
Jesus Christ Chainsaw Massacre.
Is that a real movie? Some people here have seen the movie Zombie Christ that I own. It's basically softcore porn and religious propaganda, and it's amazing. So, me and this girl break up, but we always call each other to kind of, I'm feeling kind of down. I kind of miss you, but we can't date. But I kind of miss you. We can fuck. Yeah, that sounds good. Come down my house. Let's go. We do that back and forth, and then we kind of drifted apart. New Year's Eve, I don't even remember what year it was because you'll understand in a minute. I was DJing at a few bars. I had the night off, which is awesome for a DJ. And somebody walked up to me. The two bars I DJed at were across the alley from each other. So I could run back and forth and party with all my friends. I run in the back door of this one bar, and this girl goes, "Mikey, gives me a hug. Just hold your hands out." And I go like this. Just move your hands. And she proceeds to pull this big fucking pill bottle out, poured it in my hands, takes about 6 of them out, put it back in the bottle, goes, "Have fun." At that point in my life, I would take whatever you gave me. Not ask what it was, what's it do, I would just experience it.
Been there, done that.
Apparently every step you took, it was like you're going upstairs. And I felt like I was walking about this high off the ground after I took 4 of them and drank lots of beer. And whiskey, and champagne, and whatever else was given to me. So I was all kinds of fucked up, and I'm just walking around, had a pocket full of pills, just handing people a handful of pills, going, "Take this shit, it's amazing." Yeah, good idea. So I called her the next day after I wake up on one of the bar owners' beds that I used to date. She took me home, along with like 10 other people, guys, girls, a couple dogs, whatever. I wake up and there's just a pile of bodies on her bed. And we're going, "Is this your shoe? That's my sock." I'm like, "You're wearing my pants." It was one of those kind of ones. So I'm like, wow. Did I drive here? No. Somebody take me home. And I call this girl. I said, "Man, I got really fucked up last night. Kind of want to talk to you. I'm feeling really down. Come over to the house." I go to the house, and she says, "My dad would like to have a word with you." I walk in thinking it's going to be just happy, smiling, "Hey, want to watch a movie?" He has a very serious look on his face. I didn't know he was a reformed drug addict and a reformed alcoholic, and very preachy. He starts to explain to me how he can lay hands on, he lived on a farm, so he can lay hands on a crippled animal, and that animal will walk. And in his church, when someone is troubled, he can walk up and hug them, and they'll be cured. And I'm still kind of fucked up from the evening before, like, where is this going? Much like you guys are saying. So he goes, "I'll be right back." And he walks in the other room, and he comes out with a little bottle that looks like a salad dressing of some sort, with some weed stuck in it. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Because this is holy oils being blessed by 20 holy men. And and we're going to arraign you. He's rubbing this shit on my head. I'm like, oh, what the fuck are you doing, man? Because that's a devil talking. That's when I realized I was having an exorcism. He rubbed this shit all over my head, all over my face, and then he hit me with his palm. And I go, what the fuck are you doing, man? I was pissed. That's a devil talking. We're going to get that devil out. And he grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me, because apparently demons react really well to shaking. That didn't work. I cussed some more. He shook me, he hit me, he slapped me. He dumped more oil on my head and on my shirt. And I'm like, finally I just kind of settled down, because I knew I wasn't going to win in his house. And he said, do you feel better? And I go, no. Yeah. My work is done. And he walks away. I look at his daughter like, what the fuck did you just get me into? She goes, come on. And we scamper downstairs to her apartment, which is with a full bar, a hot tub, and a soft serve ice cream machine. It's like, fuck yeah, that's where I'm going. And somehow I ended up sitting on the couch with my pants around my ankles, her in front of me, boring me. And you can understand it when your mind is in a place like that. You miss minor details, like a door opening, or someone walking down the stairs, and out of the corner of my eye, I catch her dad. I heard her blanket, pull it over top. She didn't stop, because she didn't notice. He walks up and says, hey, I wrote down a Bible verse for you. Next time you feel like that, read this out loud and the devil will go running, completely ignoring the dollar-shaped lump in front of me. And I just kind of lean back and I go, okay, thanks, man, I will. I can tell you, I'm not sure that my demon was released that night, but it was something that sounds kind of similar. Thank you very much.
Yo, everybody stop poking you. Get up there.
All right. Substitution. So, the end of the show is going to be a lot like that. Looks like our closer hasn't made it today, so I didn't get to write any intro for Marlo, so I'm going to just do what I had for him. Marlo's beard is really long. She kind of looks like a Linux programmer, and it's weird. She really dislikes Facebook, but she likes Google, which is a lot like saying, I'm not going to sleep over at Mike Tyson's house, just Roman Polanski's. So, give it up for Marlo Mapes.
Alright, hi guys. Last minute substitution, so unfortunately I don't have a new piece for you. It's just kind of a revamp of my audition piece, so bear with me. I'm one of those beings that's predominantly motivated by stress. You know, everything has a deadline, everything has an expiration date. I look at the world around me more like a checklist than an experience. My life is built upon hundreds and hundreds of small experiments, and about a week ago, I had an amazing idea for a new one. Now, driving is one of those times that I can just sit back and collect my thoughts, but this particular morning, I had run the full gamut of a clusterfuck. Woke up late, did a flash makeup application, really bad lighting, grabbed the clothes in the nearest pile on the floor, got in my car, and drove like a bat out of hell. So while I'm driving, I'm chain smoking, mentally cursing out every other driver on the road, plotting cruel and unusual punishments for everyone that has a part in Omaha road construction, listening kind of to a song on the radio, not really catching it, and then I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. And I noticed that in my haste, I grabbed the wrong eyeliner pencil. and I was now the mortified owner of bright purple eyebrows. Houston, we have just lost cabin pressure. So I was in that phrase, getting up for the freak out, 3, 2, 1, and a song lyric stuck out. The comedy is that it's serious. So I calmed myself down for a minute, and I realized, okay, well, today's off to a really shitty start, and I'm gonna have to bear with this all day, but you know what? They match my shirt pretty fucking well. I'm gonna rock this. So throughout that week, I decided to make a little course of experimentation, areas of my life that I wanted to test. Technology also hates me, so bear with me for a minute.
You call it help desk.
I could, yeah. Let Emily, please come to assist. So as a result of that experimentation week, I tested absolutely everything in my life, every person, every area, and I was expecting a pretty big fallout. But nothing happened, not a damn thing. There was no apocalypse, no nuclear fallout. Life went on pretty much without consequence, but I learned a lot from it. Now, I have this unfortunate habit of collecting stalkers, or as they insist to be called, very enthusiastic friends. And my mom used to refer to it as the please fuck with me face. If there is a mentally or emotionally crippled person, anyone who is socially inept, they will be glued to my ass like there is no tomorrow. And sometimes all you want is some downtime, you know, just some time for yourself away from these people. And I blame the invention of text messaging for the bulk of my frustration, because now 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you are continually available. You know, no, I don't care what you're reading. I don't need a picture of your plate. I believe you. Oh, look, there's 8 more pictures of your dog wearing different hats. It's another picture of you making a duck face. Add that one to the collection. Thank you.
Bang.
Bang. Anyone play the Facebook duck hunt? It's wonderful. And, you know, usually with these, I'm not interested, but I don't want to be cruel. So I ignore them, hoping to spark some distance. My phone's decided to aid me in this little quest because it is so technologically challenged that it usually just decides who's allowed to get a hold of me and who's not. So for the most part, I can just blame the misconnections on my phone. Like, oh, you've been calling me for the past 3 days? So must have been my phone. But through the experiment, I got a little bold. And I just finally started saying, you know, I care about you, but some distance would be nice in this friendship. And the friends that I really wanted to keep realized that and thought, okay, you know, this is getting a little intense, we should step back. Those that I wasn't really so partial to in the first place freaked out, and I haven't really heard from them since, which, painful, yes, but it helped the situation along quite a bit. Another area of interest I wanted to see with the experiment was on my romantic life, which, pretty fucking weird anyway. Like, to clarify for you all, I vibe on the crazies. Hardcore, like being completely batshit insane. It's one of the necessary attributes on my checklist. And it's hard because I have such a short attention span for people in general, but if I date someone who's insane, then yeah, I might come home from work to find you walled up in a fort you made out of beer bottles singing pirate songs at me, but I will never, ever be bored. Pretty much the standard business model is, I've got the attention span of a 4-year-old, you have the emotional maturity to match, and you're probably an alcoholic. We can't go wrong, this is amazing!
Teach yourself how to have Tourette's.
Yeah. Another thing for the checklist, it's a good idea. And these relationships are fun while they last. They're dynamic, they're just so full of new situations, weird, crazy adventures, but the fallout is fucking terrifying. Like, you do not upset crazy people. And, you know, I understand people are upset, and I like to complain, as most people do. Some people understand and just let me vent, and others take that opportunity to use that scenario to try to kind of pose themselves as my ideal partner. Like the, oh, I could have told you that this guy was no good for you, but you had to figure it out for yourself, kind of asshole. First of all, pointing out the flaws in people that I care about will not make me look to you as some kind of all-knowing sage. Really? You could have told me that this emotionally infantile, mentally unstable alcoholic was not marriage material. Well, clearly, you are the best of all the options, and I will now pledge my undying love for you. Should I drop my pants for you now? Or would you prefer we wait a little bit, not to rush things? And God forbid I'm ever single, because then the asshole attempt at the main ritual just gets even more ridiculous. Because first there's the pining, the nobody wants me, I'm so unattractive. I'm going to compliment everything about you while just blatantly letting you know that I'm the one that should be in your pants. And then the bribery, I'll take you anywhere you want, I'll treat you like a queen, I will give you expensive blank and blank to make you see that we are mentally synchronized to each other. When that doesn't work, there's the rationalizing that, oh, well, of course you wouldn't want me. You're still hung up on the psycho in the beer fort. And then ultimately, there's rejection on my part and a resentment on theirs that just doesn't shake so easily, it lingers. It's always the same pattern. And I get sick of it. I don't feel like it's justified, and I'm typically a passive person. If you're annoying me, usually I'll just ignore it until it goes away, or slowly make distance until that's no longer an obstacle. One of the most obvious things about me is that I have no shame when it comes to voicing attraction. I can't guarantee eloquence for you. You know, it could be something as simple as, hey, so I've been thinking, and I'd really like to touch my bits with your bits, so can we work that out sometime? But I will voice it. I will definitely voice it. Throughout the course of the experiment, I wanted to see if it was just those select few friends that were so bad at flirting, or if it was just people in general. So I signed up for a dating site. Basic profile, no information about me whatsoever, just a picture and a personality quiz. And within the first day of creating it, I had 21 messages, running the full gamut from the, I just want to sit and get to know you over a $10 cup of coffee while we discuss global politics and our place in the universe, to the poorly worded, often hilarious, I have penis. You like penis? Put penis in you? Yes? That was actually word for word one of the messages I received.
So you got my message, yeah.
Yeah, well, and then that's followed by the, got rave reviews in the past, I promise. Which to me means, if the person coming to you is so uncreative or so lazy that they cannot string a full sentence together, what makes you think they'd be anything other than uncreative and lazy in bed? Now, if I'm single, it's not because I'm not happy or haven't found the right person, or I should be bombarded with solicitations for dates, or trying to set up with friends. It means that I'm happy with my current status. A relationship in the future would be wonderful, but for right now, I am happy enough to sit in my pajamas with a big-ass box of Frenzia and watch B-movies in my living room without judgment. I'm not ready to give up yet. And if you keep pressing and pressing and pressing me about romantic potential, then I will friend zone your ass so hard your head will spin. It's not even worth pursuing at that point. Another facet I thought would be interesting was that, given genetics and heritage, I am a champion drinker. And as such, I'm usually presented with several opportunities to make an ass out of myself. For example, we got a noise complaint at a friend's party about a month ago. Someone decided that it was the perfect idea to send me to go talk with the police. So I sway my drunk ass over to the car, ask what the problem is. I'm half listening, kind of trying to plan a witty comeback, but drunk me is tricky and thought that she could phrase it better. So as soon as I felt the words, "cool story, bro," in my mouth, thought I was going to be in for a world of hurt, but drunk me would not shut up. And that babbling was so successfully annoying that the cops left and just chose not to come back the rest of that night. So, drunk me gets, I think, 10 points for that one.
She'll be back.
Yeah, drunk me is tricky though. Excuse me, guys. One more time. Drunk me is tricky. She's been known to delete text messages that she sends so that sober me won't be mad at her in the morning for sending them, which leads to just several awkward and unwanted situations. And she's also wonderful at getting freak accident injuries, which is not that different from sober me. I mean, Dave and Laura know that I'm still moderately terrified of the slides downtown. Sober me is pretty good at freak accidents as well. But I'm very, very injury prone and very anti-hospital. For example, I'm going to tell you guys the story of the fireplace explosion. This happened in January. I was with a group of friends, drinking, socializing, standard debauchery. We decided that it was too cold in the living room. So, logically, we wanted to get a fire going. A friend and I were crammed halfway to the fireplace trying to get our lighters to connect with the logs, but they just weren't catching. So we went on a quest to go find matches. I should make a note for you all at this point that the friend in question does Civil War reenactments, and as such has a steady supply of gunpowder at all times. So while we were off on our little matches finding quest, some very helpful person decided to dump half a pint into the fireplace. So unbeknownst to us, we get back with the matches, so excited, cram ourselves into the fireplace, and I strike the match, and it connects. And the next thing I know, I'm running, and somebody is screaming, and everything is hot. So we run around the room for a minute, catch a glimpse of ourselves in the mirrors against the wall, just collapse, we're smacking the flames out of each other, freaking out, fall to the ground, and just start laughing like hyenas. Like, when are we ever going to be in that same situation? Gunpowder explosions, by the way, exactly the way that you picture it in a cartoon. Hair blows straight black, there's soot all over your face, people are just stunned. I don't think my eyes have ever been that wide in my entire life. But after we went through that, just knowing how bad that situation could have been, and the mild situation ended up becoming, just really was kind of a revelation for me, knowing that you can get through things like that without injury and be able to learn from them without, a continual problem. So I'm going to tell you another injury story that, although it's not as cool, was a lot more recent and a lot more personal accountability. So I was having one of those days, as we all do from time to time, where I was feeling fancy and I wanted to check myself out in the mirror. So I got in my bathtub, naked, and I'm holding onto the curtain and the shower organizer for leverage, trying to see what my butt would look like if I was doing this. So I'm twisting myself all the way back, and I can almost see it, and then there's a ripping and crying noise. And I'm watching myself just steadily fall backwards with both of them on top of me. That coincidentally was my dad and my brother's wake-up call. It was the crash and then me screaming. That was interesting to explain later. Wore those bruises for 2 weeks. I was kind of proud of that. And all these injuries have made me pretty resilient. Hardly anything phases me. I'm able to laugh off most things. So speaking of resilient, I guess I should tell you guys the overall result of this experimental week. After just a week of viewing the world through a different lens, I was no longer bound by petty obligation or coercion. I let go of everything, unwanted, inconsequential, and stressful. The people in my life now are there because they want to be, not because they want something from me or need something from me. They're because we genuinely get along. So during those times when everything is going wrong, when you're stressed, when you just lost cabin pressure and are on the verge of a freak out, remember that the best comedy in life is that we take everything so seriously. Thank you.
Marlo, thanks everybody. Will gave me the mic for this last closeout just for a second because I forgot to pimp something while I was up here before. I just had a book come out today. This is a fantasy novel called Rogues of the Black Fury. It is out by the publisher is E-Reads. It is available on in print and in all e-reader formats. So check that out. And that's pretty much it. That's the show. Thank you all for coming. If you haven't already, the Vascular Society, give it up.